So if you make that flank play, they get confused, you catch somebody off guard, you get a kill. So I like that whole idea. I just don't think you're following up with the appropriate cooldown sometimes. And I think sometimes you're mistiming your flank to where it's not at the most like ideal
It's not really effective.
part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was saying, in ranked, especially on these ground tank heroes like Orisa or Amatra, I play a lot of Rhine, I play a lot of Sig, but on those kinds of heroes, you're not going to get too much value in ranked if you're just kind of playing front to back. And when I say front to back, I mean like, imagine the game is being played on like King's Row second point, and you have the tanks shooting each other, and then the tanks, they're like their team behind them, kind of shooting the tank, but like healing their own tank at the same time, and not really doing too much. But as the tank in that situation, you won't get too much value because you're just going to be shooting the other tank, which the other tank is also going to be doing to you, right? Like he's going to shoot you back. So it's kind of like, will my team get a random kill first? Where are we going to use our ults well? And a lot of it is like very team dependent in that way. So I think sometimes there are definitely some opportunities where just in general, not even on Orisa, but in ranked, where you can kind of walk around the map, take a random flank, and kind of like maybe like, let's say you're defending a point and you know that they're respawning and you want to look to get like a kill as they're walking out of spawn. There's like some stuff you could do like that in given moments, but that's kind of just like a general thing for ground tanks. I did see some of this code, and I know that there are some points where you did take that off angle kind of, or like you weren't stacked in your team, so I thought that was a pretty good idea. I can talk further like on when it's a good idea, when it's a bad idea, but
Yeah, kind of the timing of it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a general thing I want to say for ground tanks, but yeah, other than that, we can just get started with this code. I don't need to stall any longer here. So, okay, so first we need to analyze their comp. I'm sure you've already done that because you've been playing 2 rounds into it, but just to kind of as a refresher.
Yeah.
When we start with the Orisa, we see they have the Bastion, Mercy, Kiri, Genji, Rhine. So I'm assuming you went Orisa because it's like good into Rhine, usually counters Rhine.
Yeah, I honestly, it was just a swap off of Zarya and Ramatra was banned. Otherwise, I would have gone Ram.
Okay, yeah, so this is a good pick. But yeah, playing this Rhine matchup, I mean, you can like melt their Rhine. All of your cooldowns will counter their Reinhardt's cooldowns. Like your shield spin will counter fire strike, or your javelin spin will counter fire strike. Your gold will counter pin and shatter. Your javelin can cancel shatter. So you will get value if you play the front to back, like I mentioned earlier. You'll probably have a greater chance than he will at winning the team fight. But because they have this Mercy backline, you're allowed to do more individual playmaking things. I like to look at ground tank playing in ranked. I like to look at how much I can do given their backline. So if they're on like Ana Zenyatta, I can't really like stand too much in open space. I can't look for insane plays. I kind of have to play behind cover, just air like nade. I have to care sleep dart and Discord orb because those heroes do a lot of damage. They have a lot of cooldowns to shut down tanks especially, so I want to look out for that. But if they're on a backline like Mercy, Kiri, there's no cooldowns that those heroes have to like hard counter tanks. I mean like Kiri has Suzu, but that's kind of just like a general immortality thing. Mercy doesn't have anything to shut down tanks. So I see this backline and I know I can pretty much play for free. It would be the same thing as if I saw like Moira Brig or like Mercy, Lifeweaver, stuff like that. It's just, you kind of have to think about how much damage can their backline do to me. That's what I like to think about a lot. And if it's not a lot of damage, I know I can make plays. If it's something like on is in, then I know I need to be more careful. So I see their comp and I know that I can look for a lot of plays, kind of walk around for free. And then I see my comp. We have double hit scan, Mercy, Ana. So okay, it's kind of weird because we have double hit scan. Our soldier might look to take weird angles because it's this map and he's allowed to. But generally, it's going to be like my team is going to be kind of sitting down main, like shooting their gun. So you won't have any like Lucio to follow you up. You won't have any like Genji, Tracer, flankers to follow up your individual plays if you do look to go for them. So you need to be careful of that. If you go for stuff, you're probably going to have to like solo kill people. You're not going to have much help on your plays. So that's something to take into account here. But that's just like a general kind of thing when I'm looking at how to play my hero into a certain team comp.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So let's see how you play this. We see our soldier getting walked on, kind of want to go help him. Genji inting, nice kill. Nice. And like right there, we probably could have used our spin, our javelin spin, to take more aggression onto that bastion. We see him here, we hit the javelin, but he gets shielded. We could just use our javelin spin to walk past that Ryan, get the kill faster. Or even here, to close distance on their back line. Maybe look for a javelin on the Mercy after you spin. But it just seems like to me, you're trying to use your javelin spin in a very like safe way, like not
like
to
a
die.
defensive way, yeah.
Yeah, but it's a very good way to move around the map while not taking damage, right? Like it's a defense matrix, it speeds you up. It's perfect for closing distance, especially on a comp like they have where they don't have any speed to turn away from you and they can't really boop you. So like right here, let's say we haven't used our javelin spin yet, which we haven't. I would look to just spin past this Reinhardt and maybe look for a javelin onto that Mercy because we know that she's around the corner. We see that healing beam, we see the hero in front of us. But that's kind of how you could get like an individual kill here, but you hit the javelin onto the Kiriko, and like I said, I think your mechanics are actually a lot better than people give you credit for. Like you can hit the cooldowns, you're just not putting yourself in the position to like make those plays enough. But that was a good fight, regardless. Played well. So now that we're spinning, let's see how it goes. Get the kill on the Bastion. Use Bob. Get the kill on the run, nice. Like right now you could be using Javelin Spin to walk up and kill their team. Just to close distance just a little bit faster so you have a bigger window of opportunity there.
Right.
But you're not misplaying. You're playing very safe, and it seems like... Are you trying to focus on like not dying and like just playing your life a lot?
Oddly enough, so this was what, last night? Yeah, this was last night, I think. My oddly enough, my primary focus was to play more aggressively. And I think in some instances I did a lot better than I normally would have. But I do see, particularly so far with the Orisa spinning, javelin for movement and that kind of stuff into a more aggressive playing pattern. That's definitely an area I can improve in for sure. I definitely see it.
Yeah, it's just like a thing where javelin spin is like 7-second cooldown or something, 6 or 7 seconds. So you'll get it back really fast, and if you need to like bail yourself out because you misused it, you still have gold.
Right.
You still have javelin to boop their Reinhardt away from you and stuff. So especially into a comp like that, you're allowed to use it a lot. So yeah, I'll just be looking for that more. Unfortunately, we died to the Bastion ults. Now we're down 2. Just want to get out here. This is probably fine if they cap the point. Look for a flank play. I think this is actually... So I like the idea. I just don't think it's going to go well. Okay. I'm going to break this down, actually. So we're down 2. And we look for a play, but the problem is they know that we're already looking. Like, we're already going to hide. Their Genji sees us. They're going to turn a corner. Their Kiri sees us. Their Mercy sees us. Their Ryan sees us. Their Bastion is going to see us. So they all know we're kind of looking for something, so they're all already being careful. If you had looked for this, if you had hidden earlier and they didn't know you were here for whatever reason, I could potentially see you turning the team fight here, but since they already know you're here, they're going to be more careful of you, like, trying to turn with your ultimate. But you actually do get decent value out of this ult, except the problem is you use your gold to walk up, and again, that's another case in which I would have used the Javelin Spin, because you can close the distance on these two guys and also just mitigate all the damage they're going to shoot at you because it's a defense matrix. You move faster when you're using it. And then you can pop your ult, and then once you're out of your ult, if you need to use your gold to live, you still have it. But we use our gold to walk up, so we're walking up pretty slow because remember, gold
slows you down
as well.
Yeah.
And we're not matrixing the damage in front of us. So we get up here and we get the kill on the Kiri. And I don't even know if it like really matters what we used here, because I think if you used your javelin spin to get in and then ulted, you still would have killed the Kiri, and the Bastion probably would have lived or killed you. So I don't know if it really matters in this case, but I would still like think it's a better idea to just like close the distance faster there with the spin.
Right. Fundamentally using a different cooldown there. Yeah.
But not a bad trade. We get the Kiriko kill. They're probably gonna res it, maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Anyways. Nice. So we nano visor, get a couple kills. Should be a point cap they don't touch. Nice. Alright. I mean, that wasn't that bad. We made a nice fight turning play. Even if you traded out for it. So say this rotate goes because the Ryan's kind of caught out here. Could maybe look for a javelin on that here a little earlier.
Yeah.
I spawn the cover. Gets away. Yeah, they use the form. Should be careful to... Like, even right there, I'm gonna keep saying it just because I want to kind of, like, reinforce how good the ability is. You have this javelin spin when you see them form. You're allowed to just, like, javelin spin right now, block all the damage from their bastion and whoever else is shooting you. And while you're doing that, you're gonna speed yourself up, and you can close the distance, then get to this corner. And after you get to this corner, you can kind of shoot them from there, kind of peek out. But the problem is right now is that our team is off fighting the Genji over here. You have you over here with a Mercy Pocket and a Soldier. So this is kind of weird setup. I can keep playing it. But they have point first. The Genji wins the duel against our Ana. Not much we can do about that. We kill the Bastion, that's fine.
Truthfully, I don't think I was even aware of what was going on with the Genji.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been either. That's like a weird fight over there. Walking into the rush, I think the problem is they already have cap point. I wouldn't mind if you did this if like the point wasn't unlocked. Maybe you kind of want to stall it out. You're down 1.
Yeah.
Or actually, you're down 2. I think.
Yeah, down 2. Yeah, the Genji brought both of them.
Yeah, so we already lost. I don't think you'd need to die here actually, because you're on Orisa, and again, their comp does like almost no damage to you. The only thing that you're gonna die to is the Bastion form.
Right.
Pretty much, unless they use like 5 ults. So you can play your life here. You have both cooldowns. They use rush on point, which is already really good for us because we're down 2.
Yeah, right.
So why
here,
would they
just
even
back
rush
out.
this? Yeah, they're really throwing. So we can back out. We don't need to feed them the 628 health that we have. Yeah, but we can just back out here, and then from there, I would say, you know, kind of regroup with our guys over here, go up here. Just kind of reapproach this, which you'll do eventually, but it's like right now we're stalling that out by dying, and we're feeding them a lot of ult charge right now. Our Soldier dies because I think he tries to stay in with us. Well, maybe live. Okay, you live, but I think
Realistically, I shouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're waiting for our Soldier to get back. Okay. Our Ash is going in. I think we... Yeah, we had cooldowns. Maybe we could have prevented that shatter from hitting us, but then I don't think it matters. They still could kill their teammates. So yeah, that was kind of like an ugly fight, just because they had flipped the point so early, and we took the fighter on point for so long. They already had the point cap. Maybe if you had backed out, your Soldier wouldn't have died, because he would have seen you running away, and he would have also decided to just leave. Maybe he dies because he just stays in a bit longer, because he sees you going in, try to turn the fight.
Sure.
But that was 50% right there that we kind of just missed out on. And now we're still respawning. It's only gonna be one real team fight on this point. Still definitely winnable. Let's see how it goes. Pressure out the Rhine shield. Force from the back. We gotta get touch. We know it's gotta be us to touch. And I like this flank, and, well, okay. I like the idea, but I don't think it's appropriate at this time because we have to touch. We know that if we leave the fight, their team is probably just gonna walk up and shoot our team because we're on this really slow Ana, Mercy, Soldier, Ashe comp. So if we kind of give up main, that allows their team to just say, you know what, we don't need to look at their tank right now. We can just get these kills, and I can go in an overhead to kind of show this off, but what happens is we leave the fight, but now their Bastion, there's not a tank in front of him to mitigate all this damage. He gets a kill. Their Genji's kind of still looking up front, but eventually they turn on you, but their Bastion's allowed to get that kill because instead of you using your javelin spin to close distance main and mitigate all this damage and still secure a touch, you're looking for a flank here. Maybe you're looking for a kill, catching somebody off guard, and you do get the touch, but they get the kill, they turn on us so fast, we take so much damage because we're the only one they can see on the screen. And eventually they just win. They did use a lot of ults. But I would like to reapproach from main there just because our comp is so slow. We really are only playing for this one angle main. If somebody's going to make a flank play here, it can't be you because you're opening up so much space. We're like, and especially like in a lot of these like like platinum, diamond games, it's gonna be, I'll go back a few seconds just to kind of illustrate it better. But in a lot of these games, it's gonna be exactly like it is, like right here. It's gonna be exactly like it is right here. You have 5 players clumped up on this one angle, and they have 5 players clumped up on this one angle. They don't have like a Kiri Lucio, Genji marking a bunch of angles. They don't have anybody like trying to they don't have a DPS player set up in an aggressive position to get a kill. A lot of these platinum diamond games are going to be like really front to back. If we look for a flank, we just need to be aware of the fact that we're going to leave our team susceptible for a lot of, like, you're just going to take a lot of damage, because once you leave the picture here, they're going to get this kill. And then back up.
So you think the flank was maybe just too deep?
I think it was...
Or just poor
timing? I
timing?
don't think you needed to flank at all. Okay. I just think you need to touch from main, because they have so much, like, damage in the front to back. They have the Mercy, Bastion, Kiri Ashe, or, sorry, Kiri Genji. If we leave here, that just leaves our team open behind us. They're already looking this direction, so once we leave, they're gonna get the kill. It would be an awkward retake from main, because you would probably have to use Javelin Spin to touch, but I don't think this flank is, like, super, like, we're not doing too much with this. And I can explain more about, like, when you'd want to take those angles versus when you wouldn't in ranked after we look at this code, because I do like the idea that you're trying to do, and I think you're definitely trying to make more impactful plays. That's something we can talk about just after we come up with this code. But yeah, we already know that we lost this point. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at the ults we have. We don't have anything really. Oh, sorry. Wait, I'm looking at the team. Okay, so we have Bob. We know we have Bob.
We also have Nano.
Yeah, almost have Nano. Maybe we're all tracking. Maybe we're not. They only have Rush soon. Maybe we can look to use our Bob when the point unlocks, and then we can just walk in with that. Probably overwhelm the enemy team. And I see you on this angle again. And I don't hate it here, because here your team is so far away from them. If they want to push your team when they see you on this angle, it's hard for them to do that because they have no speed boost. Your team is on a high ground here, so it's like their Rhine can't do any damage. Their Bastion has pretty bad LOS because your team has so much cover. They have this high ground here, and everybody else on their team is kind of not even like looking at your players. So I kind of like this angle because it confuses them, it distracts them. It's kind of like, yo, why is there risk over here? And then some of them think maybe we should turn on you. Some of them think, no, let's not turn on them. Let's ignore them and then shoot the team. But regardless, your team is probably just going to walk up and shoot them if they look at you. And if they look at your team, you can walk up and farm kills. You can look for whatever you want. So I actually don't hate it here. I think you could definitely still play main just because you're playing Orisa into Rhine. I actually like the idea here, so let's see what happens. Got the Bob, nice Javelin on the Genji, great kill. But like right here, a perfect time to use Javelin Spin for a lot of reasons. We see them on the coast. We're kind of far away from them. We see them on the coast. Like as soon as you see this, I'm dropping everything I'm doing right now, and I'm just using Javelin Spin to close distance onto this Bastion, just to kind of like face stuff him. And then once I get to him, I can use gold to make sure I don't die. I'll get Javelin back. I can look for a boop off the map with that. But we've killed their Genji. We're up 1. Again, their comp doesn't do that much damage. I know they used Rush, but by walking on their Bastion, we're going to force them to not even get into the Rush, so it wouldn't really even be effective. So you could really just take control of the lobby right now by closing this distance with the Javelin Spin and just securing all these kills. And our gun is also overheating. Another thing I like to, like, you can use Javelin Spin and your gun will reset itself while you're doing that. The same with just like using the regular Javelin. While those cooldowns are active, your gun is resetting, so you can kind of like overheat your gun and then you spin or Javelin, and it's going to be a really good way to like just be efficient with how much damage you're doing. If you see an opportunity while your gun is overheating, just try to use those cooldowns. But so we wait for our gun to come back. Use Mercy. Okay, they kill the Kiri. And it's fine. We do win, but I think by not looking at that Bastion, we enabled him to kind of turn the team fight. Because he was Mercy pocketed, he had a Reinhardt over there. Maybe if he's a bit of a better player, he's finding 2 kills during that timing. Whereas if you had just inted onto him and booked it onto him, he would have to look at you and he'd probably just die. Because he's on Orisa, he's on Bastion. And then that would kind of leave their Kiri open, but I'm much more worried about like a Mercy pocketed Bastion than I am about a Kiri go there.
Yeah, that's valid.
Want to make sure we're poking their walk up always, because they have a very slow comp.
Right. That's kind of what I kept thinking about.
We're set up to do. Yep. Oh, That Bastion, nice.
Yeah, I did not mean to drop there.
Good. Nice, not overextending too much, poking the rock up pretty decently. Using gold here. I don't know if we need it right now, but yeah. So I would be. I mean, okay. We know we're up 1. We know we killed the guy like right here. We need to watch out for this res. But especially when you're nanoed, you get nanoed. I think definitely ignore this Rhine, Kiri. Like, these are going to be hard for people to kill because they're just going to pocket each other with heals and with their shield. I would use Javelin Spin, go close this distance onto their Mercy Bastion. You're nanoed, you're definitely going to get this kill. You could maybe kill the Mercy when he's rezzing. But we look at these guys with our nano. Kind of like get some value out of it, but we don't really get any kills. Whereas we probably could have gotten that Bastion and definitely the Mercy with that just by ourselves. I know our soldier got the Bastion for us, but he's not always going to do that. So we want to make sure that we're getting our own individual value, that we're looking to make plays always and trying to get killed ourselves versus just shooting their tank sometimes. So that was another opportunity. We could have used Javelin Spin to close distance, make more of an aggressive play, especially in nano. But we're still in the team fight, so that's good. They have no ult, so they have Bastion ult, but let's see. I'd be shooting that Bastion right now, kind of peeking out, get pinned. I'll look at this from an overhead POV. I want to see exactly what's happening. Struggling like right now, I want to see what's happening. So I don't really like this from our DPS actually. I think somebody on our team could definitely be like sitting up top right so that we can shoot their walk up better. Because we're kind of 5-stacked right now, but that's how we're set up. This Genji comes here, distracts all of our DPS. So the reason their walk up is so free right now is because we're all shooting this Genji, and even you turn to look at this Genji, while their Bastion's kind of just sitting main here in turret form. Like, had a few of our DPS, maybe even us, looked at this Bastion, looked for a Javelin onto him, potentially just could have killed him. You know, that's that guy has his ult this fight. Like, if we kill him before he uses the ult, we're almost guaranteed to win. But this Genji takes a lot of aggression, and he has deflect up, he has supports right here, so he's not gonna die. This walk is pretty free for them. Gets the kill on your soldier, the Rhine walks up, I think he catches you off guard with that pin. So now we have no space in the map. Mercy gets there somehow, I don't even know what's going on over here. But we just gave up so much map space for free, and it's not exactly just your fault. Like, yeah, you probably could have looked at that Bastion a bit more, but our DPS could have taken more aggressive angles there. But what happened was we were all looking at a Genji, he still gets a kill somehow, and then we get pinned, and we're giving up a lot of the map. Yeah. And they kind of just walk on us, but not the worst. I mean, we didn't use any ults. They used an ult, so it's fine. Let's see how the retake goes. So I think I watched this part. You said you want to do this flank again because it worked last time. I mean, that's valid. Use Bob and it goes off the map. I mean, that's
yeah, I was just unlucky.
That's game selling a little bit, but
they were so mad about that. I remember that from the stream.
Yeah. I mean, what could we have done here? Let's see. Assuming we're still going to flank, could we have maybe pushed a little bit more aggressive? We have Javelin, we have Spin, we have other cooldown. We see our Bob going. Maybe right now, I mean, maybe right now we just assume that our Bob is not going to go off the map. Maybe we just book it with Spin onto this Bastion. We full Javelin him with that perk, maybe Javelin him to the wall. And even if our Bob goes off the map, I mean, that could still be a pretty easy Bastion kill right here.
That's true, yeah.
We do it a little bit late. And we don't charge this spear too much, so he doesn't go too far back. He's into the wall.
Honestly, that's one of my nastiest habits with that perk. Just forgetting to hold the button. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes me a second to get used to it too. I'll sometimes I'll even start a game off on Orisa, where I just played a previous game on Orisa with that perk. I'll start a game off for the next game thinking I have it, and then I just won't, so I end up javeling a wall or something. Yeah, it takes a minute to get used to.
That's fair.
Yeah, but we probably could have been more aggressive onto this Bastion, and that would have encouraged our team to walk up a little bit. Maybe we javelin him on the wall, like I said, and get shot at. Maybe get a free kill there. And our Bob is off the map. We use gold instead, kind of playing really defensive here. And their Bastion ends up getting a kill on the Mercy. Just not much going on this team fight. They have a lot of space there on the point. Our team is swinging them left. our Bob goes off the map. That's unfortunate. I think you could have looked for more of an opportunity on that Mercy or on the Bastion. It's just kind of like a thing in general, and even like at the highest level of play, like teams will lose matches because they don't set tempo enough. They're kind of allowing the enemy team to do whatever they want, and I know that's not ideal that our Bob went off the map. That would have been a great way to set tempo, but into comps like that, into that Mercy, Kiri, Genji, Bastion, Reinhardt, like you can still look for aggressive javelin spin walk-ups into like a power javelin, or maybe booping their tank into you. You can still look for very aggressive plays, starting off with your javelin spin and then using your gold as a resource to be like, okay, now I'm in the middle of their team because I used my spin to get in. I'm in front of 5 people. Now you can use your gold just to kind of like stay alive if you need to get around a corner. Like let's say you javelin, or let's say you spin over here, javelin the guy into the wall, and he lives. Like we don't even get the kill. Now you're in the middle of 5 people. You can use your gold just to like walk around this corner.
Yeah.
And stabilize. And by doing this, you're still like applying pressure to their Rhine. They can't really walk too hard on this angle. And our team has this high ground, so if they do, we'll probably shoot them and they'll die. But more stuff like that, I think.
I don't think we even get a touch.
Yeah, our comp's really slow. I think if you went like ball or something here, you maybe could have touched, or like Doomfist.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball would have been what I should have done, but
yeah, I think definitely a Wrecking Ball sorry, don't touch. Yeah, I definitely made that swap just like in case something miraculous happens, but doubt it would have.
Right.
So I think in general here, the one thing I want to focus on is you looking to make more individual plays. I like that you're thinking about it with the flanks, with the off angles. If this was like a traditional team play, like scrim environment, I definitely don't think you should go for those off angles like you were.
No.
But this is ranked. Yeah, we're playing into people that aren't playing the best comps. We're playing into people that probably aren't using the microphone. Maybe they got Club Penguin open on the other monitor. Who knows? But they're not exactly paying attention to what's going on. They kind of expect, because they're playing in Plat and Diamond, they're kind of like expecting just like the team fight to be front to back, like I've talked about a lot. So if you make that flank play, they get confused, you catch somebody off guard, you get a kill. So I like that whole idea. I just don't think you're following it up with the appropriate cooldown sometimes. And I think sometimes you're mistiming your flank to where it's not at the most like ideal.
It's not really effective.
Part of the game. Yeah. So I would say look to use your spin more aggressively for sure is the number one thing I would like to bring out of this. Closes distance. They don't have speed boost, so you'll use your spin and you'll be on top of somebody in a second. From that point you can get a free javelin onto them. That'll one-shot most squishies. And then you can use your gold to live from there if you need to, is what I would really say here.
Yeah, that's some good call-outs. I really appreciate that too, because like especially Orisa, she's almost inarguably out of my, like I'm kind of toying with hero pools, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I've heard really good thoughts on both sides. I'm definitely curious to hear yours, but you know, I one-tricked Zarya into Diamond and then like I think it's like 2 seasons ago now, and then added Diva Sigma and did reasonably well. I ended up dipping back into Platinum while I was incorporating those other 2 heroes, but then ended up back in Diamond with that same hero pool. But I've been kind of overthinking it maybe a little bit, but I've just been trying to figure out a consistent hero pool to have that covers brawl, poke, dive. Well, really, it's, I mean, yeah, compositions, but mostly the maps, you know, because obviously it's not really ideal to play Zarya on watch point kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, obviously. I think Zarya in rank's actually a good pick, you know, definitely something you could have in your back pocket as a, you know, like it's your signature hero, right? Like that's your player icon, your banner, right? Everybody has their kind of preferred character they like to play, and I think Zarya could definitely be it in ranked, but I would say in general for you, I think it'd be very valuable to learn Orisa, because Orisa's just always a good hero, any rank in the game, unless they dish out some hard nerfs soon, which I really doubt they will. Orisa's been really good for a long time in rank, just has so many good cooldowns and can live for a long time. So I'd definitely say Orisa for Brawl. I would say Sig is a good character to have just in case they're on like a very high damage comp. I think I watched you on Blizzard World the other day and you were playing on second point attack and they had like Torb on a Zen. And I know you're focusing on like Ramatra and Diva and Orisa that day, but I think Sig would have been good for a situation like that. And then just a dive hero, you know, probably be best for your hero pool, whether it's Wrecking Ball, Diva like you mentioned, Winston, Hazard, just something with vertical mobility when you need it. But if you want it to be Diva, I think Diva is a very good thing to have. So if you want to focus on like Zarya, which you already have down, then Orisa, Sig, Diva.
I think Zarya I can just pretty much lean back into at any point. If I'm gonna add heroes in my mind, I would agree Orisa, Sig, Diva would probably be a really good combo. I don't mind the Wrecking Ball. I just feel like Wrecking Ball is I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I feel like he's much more countered easily, that is, versus an Orisa, where there's a lot more hero options that people can pick that if they pick them, it just makes it almost fundamentally impossible for you to play.
Yeah, Ball is a very, like, if you can become really good at Ball, you won't lose a game, but that's, like, really hard to get to that point, and playing, especially in Plat and Diamond, like, if you go Ball, they're going to go Sombra instantly every time, they're going to go Roadhog. Like, those players are a lot more focused on just countering tank than, like, people in higher ranks are, even though people in higher ranks are still focused on that. But, like, I played a Wrecking Ball account, and I was playing in Plat and Diamond, and I noticed people just instantly go Sombra, so I agree, like, I don't think Ball would be a good hero to try to learn. It would take a very long time.
Yeah.
And just not be very fun, so.
Yeah, make my mental shatter.
Yeah. But I do want to talk about Sig, actually, because I think Sig, that's a hero I've been playing a lot in Ranked, and I think that's a hero that, especially in lobbies like this, you could get a lot of value on, and it kind of correlates back to that whole, like, flanking thing, because Sig has no footsteps, right? So, like, the enemies could be anywhere around you, and you just decide to mid-fight take an off angle, or, like, let's say they're walking up on attack, and you're on defense, and you're just kind of hiding behind them. They're going to straight line walk to the payload. If you're behind them, you can just walk like you're on their team. They're probably not going to turn around, because why would they? Why would they expect a Sig to be behind them? But you can just walk up to them until you know that you're, like, confident to secure a kill. Like, let's say there's, like, an Honest scoped in. Just walk up to that, hit a left click, and then hit a rock, and then 2 left clicks and a melee. You just instantly get the kill. Your team is going to follow you up, probably. They're probably going to walk up on that. Their entire team is going to be confused, not know what's going on. But I think Sig is a very good hero for that kind of stuff. If you want to look for those individual plays, it gets really bad when they're on, like, a fast comp. Like, if they're on, like, Lucio, Juno, Genji, Tracer, Winston, you can't really do that much because their backline's going to be a bit faster. But I think in a lot of these Plat Diamond games, people are going to be on, like, these Mercy on slower comps, so, like, a lot of one-shot potential there, and it's not too hard to get the kill. You don't need insane mechanics. You just need to kind of time it correctly to where, like, you know somebody's probably not going to be paying attention. You come out of nowhere, you rock them, punch them, hit 2 melee or hit 2 left clicks. You can almost guarantee a kill there. If that's something you want to start, if you really want to focus on this whole, like, flanking route like you were doing this game, I would suggest Sig just for that reason.
Any baddies in your Discord? One, but she's married to me. That was smooth. I gotta give myself that one. That was smooth.